Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really well today. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how to trick your Cricut machine into doing a print then cut using dark coloured paper. And when I say dark coloured, I mean the ultimate in dark colour. So this is a thank you card that I currently make and send out with my Etsy orders for each one of my customers. So this code on here gives them 10% off a future order in my shop. So they normally are white with a rose gold foil on them, but these are the ones that I've just made. As you can see, they are black cardstock with, again, a rose gold foil on them. So how have I done this? So there's a couple of different ways you could do it. You could just do them like these with the black print, and then you could cut them out square yourself and use a corner punch for them, but that's a bit of a faff, and it's much easier to use print then cut if you can. So that is exactly what I've done. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. Let's jump straight in. The first thing that you're going to want to do then is get your design sorted. So I've got mine on the screen here now, but what you can't see with this particular design is that it's sitting on top of little rounded edge rectangles. So if I change the colour of my canvas to this lilac-y colour, you'll see that now those are all my rectangles. The text is attached and flattened, so if I just click on that you can see that it is flattened and it's showing as a print then cut up in the layers panel just there. So if I go through to make it now, so there's my design on the screen. As you can see, I've got 8 thank you cards on one page. I could fit more on if I made them a little bit smaller, but I quite like them being this credit card size. So if you are using a bigger design or whatever, you can change your material size here. If you're unfamiliar with the new print then cut dimensions and how that all works, I do have a video explaining all of that, so I'll pop that above for you now and down below in the description box for you if you're interested to find out more about how print then cut has changed. The print then cut registration marks have actually changed to just be these corner marks instead of it being all the way around the design like it used to be. So this does make it a lot more convenient to trick your machine. So if we click on continue, what you'll want to do now is just choose your printer just by clicking on send to printer, and then you'll get all of your options here. Make sure you select the correct printer. What I would suggest doing is just checking on your particular printer's settings, maybe changing the media type. So if you want to do that and you're printing on a card, you'll need to click the use system dialog box. I don't really need a bleed for this one because it's not going to be something that's cut around, it's literally just cutting around the box, and then just click on print. Because we've checked that use system dialog, we will get the system settings for the particular printer come up, so we can now change that to be heavyweight paper, or we can change it so that it feeds from a different place on the printer. So we can change all our settings here. Make sure that you change your settings to correspond with what material you are actually printing on. So let's just go ahead and print that now. Just quickly then, before we carry on with the process, I'm just going to show you how the registration marks used to look for print then cut. So before this latest update where they've changed to these corner notches, we used to have a box that went around the whole perimeter of your design. So if you were cutting something smaller, say I was just cutting these 4 labels here, that registration mark box would just go around there, and that would be how your machine would scan it. But since the new update, we have changed over to these notches. So I've printed out a white one because we're going to need a white one, and I'm going to show you about that in a moment. So as you can see, these are the registration marks on here, and then this is the one that I am going to do the print then cut with. So obviously it's black cardstock, and I've got 3 copies because I'm going to make 3 different sheets of my thank you cards and just keep them in my little stock box ready for when my orders come in. So the first thing that you want to do is just print out onto regular printer paper another copy of your project. Then grab your scissors, and you're going to want to just cut off those corner marks. Try and keep them in the order that you take them off. Can you see where I'm going with this now? Okay. And I saw another crafter do this on Instagram, I think it was. It might have been YouTube. So shout out to Ashlee, who has done this previously, but it's such a brilliant idea. So I can't take credit for thinking of this, but when she started doing it and I was watching, I was like, so obvious, why didn't we think of this? Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is put the design onto the mat. Okay, let's just pop this down onto this mat. Now this mat is really old and not very sticky, so I need to make sure it's stuck really well, or as well as I possibly can. So what I'm going to do is stick it down, give it a really good bray, in the hope that that's going to help, because I don't want it to move when it's being cut. Then what I'm going to do is grab my corner pieces, and I've put some tape on a couple of them already, and what I'm going to do is just mirror where they are on the printout, and I'm just going to pop those down, and we're just going to make that stick down. Try and get them as close to the edge of the card as you can, so that the machine can scan really accurately. If you want to add a little bit more tape, you can. Don't forget that when your machine cuts your design, it's probably going to cut into these pieces as well, so just make sure that they're nicely adhered to the mat, because you don't want your mat to jam up, because that is very annoying when that happens. So we're just going to stick these on as best we can. And I'm wondering about putting a little tiny bit there as well, but I'm not sure whereabouts it's going to cut, so I might grab one and just have a quick look and see. Yes, if I put it there, it shouldn't be a problem with that. And it's just going to stop it from moving if it does get caught at all. Two more tiny bits. Alright, so there we go, that is on the mat. Now then, what we need to do is just make sure there's no bits sticking up on the corners. That corner was sticking up a touch, so I've just put another bit of tape on there. What I'm going to do now is pop this into the machine, and we're going to let the machine do its scan. And we'll do exactly the same as it would if it was scanning a white page, and it'll just go over each corner. The carriage will move all over the mat, and then you'll notice that it'll come up on your screen saying that that is ready to cut, and it's just finalising. So let's put this into the machine and get that cut. Okay, so I'm using my original old Cricut today. Let's pop this straight into there. Just follow the guides in the corner, and then just press the insert mat button. Alright, now that is ready to go. The screen's telling me it's ready to go. Let's just hit the flashing C button. And if I turn my light off, you'll probably be able to see the light just on the bottom of the carriage, and it's just scanning where those lines are for the corners of the project. Here is the finished cut then. As I said, the corners did cut out, but that's fine, and you can actually keep these corner pieces if you want to, so you can just peel them off and just keep them for another project. So I'll just take off the tape, and you can tell which way around they're supposed to be spaced because you've got a bigger gap along the top there than you have at the side. So let me just peel these bits of tape off. There's one of my little corners that it cut out. Sometimes I do take the corner pieces off when it's ready to cut, but it just depends on whether you can catch the machine in time to pause the cut before it starts. Let's move them out of the way. Okay, so here is the big reveal of my print then cut on black cardstock. Oop, there's one still attached. Apart from that one coming away, there you go. They are absolutely perfect. Perfectly round corners, exactly how I want them to be. So these are all done and ready. They look fab. The corners are perfect. It's cut wonderfully. All that's left to do now is pop them into my foiling machine, and then they'll be ready to go out to my customers to give them a nice discount on their next order. So I really hope that you've enjoyed this video and that you found it to be useful. I do hope that you'll use this print then cut hack or tip or whatever you want to call it in the future, because it is such a brilliant one. And I'm really pleased that Cricut have changed those registration marks so that we can do this now. You don't have to use black paper, you can use any colour paper, whereas previously the Cricut would have thrown up an error on the screen to say that it couldn't pick up the print then cut and that there was a problem with it. Now you can use any colour and just use exactly the same procedure as I have done with the black one. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video and I can't wait to see you again for another one soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye.